I've definitely learned a lot, but there is still, of course, way more to learn, and I have so many thoughts, comments, concerns, many opinions on all of it. So today we're gonna get into all the classes that I've taken so far, the projects that I've done, the classes that I've had to teach myself through, and just any and everything about being a film major. I'm gonna be exposing it, so here we go. My name is Maya, I go to Howard University, and as of last week, I'm officially a senior. I believe everyone's college experience is extremely unique, extremely personal, and mine is of course the same. Literally smack dab in the middle of my freshman year, we got sent home for COVID, so it's been very interesting trying to complete a film degree while being virtual. And even though it has been a bit of a challenge, I still, of course, I wouldn't change anything because we don't have any regrets here, and doing it virtually has presented me with different challenges, but challenges that I still think are shaping me into an amazing filmmaker. So at Howard University, you start taking your major classes right away. There isn't that 2-year buffer period where you can kind of pick what your major is. You literally come in and hit the ground running. So freshman year, while I didn't take any classes that had me formatting scripts or working on shot sizes or working with cameras or anything like that, I still took classes that did pertain to my major. So things like intro to communications, digital media literacy, just an overarching view of communications and media, but nothing that was super specific to film. Then in March 2020, as we all know, the world got shut down, I got sent home for school, and honestly, the last 2 months of spring semester feel like a complete blur. I don't even remember what I did. I don't even know if I had to do any final projects. I know I ended up passing. I'm a senior, I'm here, I made it, but the ending of freshman year wasn't film heavy at all. This is when things get interesting because this is when the real film classes started. However, due to the pandemic, we were virtual. The trickiest part of doing this virtually was that sophomore year is normally the time when you get to start checking out equipment. So we do have a tech center at Howard University. There's an array of different cameras and lens and lights and bounce boards and any and everything you can think that you would want to use and try as a film major is all in that tech center. And normally sophomore year is when you get to check it out. But because we were virtual, because campus was closed, I did not have that luxury. So all the projects that I completed had to be done with the materials that I did have. I'm extremely lucky that I had a camera. I actually had multiple cameras to work with. I had an editing software. I had ring lights. I had enough to work with, but I do know a lot of people were working on their phones during this year, so we definitely missed out on a year of using equipment, but nonetheless, still worked out, still was okay. In fall 2022, I took Media Production 1. For this class, I had to complete 2 pretty big assignments, and believe it or not, this is pretty much the only class that I've had multiple big assignments in. And when I say big, I mean they needed a script, they needed a whole production, they needed lighting, they needed shots, they needed editing, it needed music. This was a literal whole ass production that I was putting on here. The Media Production 1 course is basically just a very general overview into everything production. You kind of get a little taste of all of it, and then you go into more depth in Media Production 2, and then you go in and take individual classes as the years go on. You'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit. I really enjoyed this Media Production 1 class, so the first big assignment that I did that I was really proud of was to conduct an interview all about COVID. At this time, I was living in Washington, D.C. with my brother, and I didn't really know anyone else that was here in D.C., and also just to be COVID safe, I did all my projects literally from my apartment with my brother. I think I did a pretty damn good job considering that this was my first real assignment having to do all of this. So let me show you that project.
Hi, my name is Devin Gardino. I am a 5th-year history major, sociology, and political science double minor from Peekskill, New York, and I am Maya's brother.
How have you mentally changed since the pandemic began?
Well, when the pandemic first started, I was still in my senior year, my 4th year of school for Howard, and it was really crazy because classes got all jumbled up. You didn't really know what was going on. A lot of the teachers didn't really know what was going on, so it was affecting the work and the students. And also, I had dealt with depression throughout my life, especially in college. So being stuck inside, it wasn't particularly a good thing. But I had to make the most of it. I had to take advantage of certain things. I was able to actually buy a sun lamp that helped me a little bit. I am still a little bit pale, but
So what physically changed about you when the pandemic began?
Well, you really can't go to the gym anymore. You can't really do certain activities. I personally didn't go to the gym a whole lot, but I would, try and go once or twice a week. But my main workout for the week would be just hanging out with my friends. Or not hanging out with my friends, but playing sports with my friends, playing soccer, basketball, just doing activities like that. So it's a lot harder in the pandemic when you can't really, hang out with anyone. You can't really do anything. It's hard. You can't really play sports. It's close contact. So luckily I was able to play some Xbox. So I was still able to interact with my friends. I actually grew my hair out a lot. You can't really go to the barber for a while. There was a lot of rules and everything. Everything was closed. And when I did finally get to go to the barber, I had to fill out, a whole questionnaire and everything. It was actually good because, you want to be safe. But not that I didn't think about this before, but, you do get a little bit more cautious now. I mean, of course, with the virus and everything, but now you think, you just have to be safe when it comes to germs, not just the coronavirus, but in general, like making sure you're just staying safe, so.
I found it really fulfilling to be able to set up the different cameras and edit the shots perfectly, and I love how it switched from like the side view to the front view and that the audio lines up perfectly and you can't really tell that there's cuts in it. Like, I absolutely love that. The next project for this course was the final, so of course this is a super big one, and this was one that we worked on, but I don't really remember ever being a thing where it was like, okay, Maya, what exactly are you doing? Let me walk you through this. Let's see what you're doing from here to here. Let's get you from step A to step B. I felt like I was very much kind of going through this on my own. So for this final project, I had to write a script, which meant I had to know the formatting. I had to have all of that in order. I had to have an actor, which again was my brother. I had to have some shot compositions figured out, which now that I've taken a cinematography course, I'm like, I did all of this wrong. Like, it was not the best well done thing, okay? It was good for what I had, but it obviously isn't like the regular standard that I would produce now. Nonetheless, extremely happy with this project. This was the first thing that I've ever actually written and then had to bring to real life and then had to edit and then present, and I ended up getting an A on it, so here's that.
Hey Mom, what's up?
Nothing, I just wanted to give you a call. How are classes?
Yeah, classes are good. Nothing really going on. Did you possibly send me an Amazon package earlier? Because I got one in the mail.
No, that's not for me. Maybe your grandma sent you an early Christmas present.
Maybe it's my LSAT book, but the package seems kind of big, so I'm not sure.
LSAT book? Does that mean you decided to apply to law school? Devin, you still have some time, I think.
Not really, I only have 6 months till I graduate. That's really no time at all.
Alright, well listen. I have a feeling you're gonna learn sooner or later what your true path is.
Yeah, but it's not just something that comes overnight. It's really not that simple.
Please just trust my parental instincts when I say, Devin, you'll figure it out.
I know, but I should have known by now. Alright, I'm gonna call you later. I'm just gonna open this package.
Okay. I think you'll find your answers sooner than you think. I love you.
Alright then. Bye, I love you. What could this be?
Inform you of your acceptance to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Acceptance to our school is a great honor, and we hope you carry yourself as so. If you accept our offer, you will be expected to arrive on campus on September 1st, 2021.
What the? There's just no way. No way this is real. There's no way. First year materials. Wand. Cloak or robe. And a cauldron. So
I actually documented the entire process of making this short film, so I'll have that link down below if you want to see the little nitty-gritty parts of it. I will be the first one to say, no, by any means, this is not of production value that you would typically be getting had I been on campus. Again, like I said, we couldn't rent equipment. I didn't have any special lighting setup aside from the natural lighting in my apartment. I was using a Canon G7X, and then I also had, I think it's like a Nikon N50, something like that. And then I was just using a regular tripod. Also at this point, I didn't really understand how cameras worked. I didn't know about aperture and depth of field. Like, of course I knew the terms, but I wasn't sitting here on my camera like adjusting all of it. So no, this is not the like best amazing quality work that you've ever seen in your entire life from a film major. I ended up getting an A in this course, and simultaneously I was taking a course titled Multicultural Media History. This technically is a film requirement, but it honestly was just like the history of newspapers. It wasn't really anything related to film that much, which it kind of bugged me that I was still having to take classes like that because I thought I had passed them all freshman year, but I still have this one to take. It was an easy A, it wasn't complicated by any means, but I also don't think it really applied to my film major. Like, I didn't do any projects for it or anything. It was just kind of a lecture. So yeah, that was the end of my fall semester sophomore year. I took Media Production 2 this semester, which was the follow-up course to Media Production 1. And similar to Media Production 1, this was just a very like umbrella course where I just got a more in-depth feel of all the different things, again, like shot sizes, cinematography, audio, lighting, writing, literally all of it, directing, producing. It was just like little pieces of all of it. I have to say, I had an amazing professor. I think I got a lot out of this course. Not that I've had any bad professors particularly, but I think it's really evident when you have a professor who's also already working in the field and is also like creating their own projects. I think the quality is a little different. So if you're curious what professors I've had, I'm not gonna blurt them out on here, but you can DM me on Instagram and I will recommend some of my favorite professors to you. But in addition to a great professor, I also had a really attentive class, which this was very rare to have virtually because no one ever wanted to turn the cameras on, no one wanted to speak, so it was very just like professor talks, you just kind of sit there and nod your head. That was not the case with this class whatsoever. Everyone was very attentive, everyone was always answering questions and talking, so it really was a safe environment to grow and kind of express myself. And this was the first time where I sat in a class and I looked at a shot and I was like, that is a medium close-up and it has a lighting on the right and it's backlit and there's this and that and they used a gel and it's this. Like, I really learned how to look at a scene and be able to decipher everything that they did to kind of make this scene work. For the final project, we ended up working in groups, and this was the first time that I did a group film project. I don't know why I didn't think I was gonna run into group projects being a film major. Like, film is collaborative, so I don't know why I thought I could avoid all this. And I don't love group projects, so it was a little like, oh, like I got a little ick there. But it's fine, it ended up working out. I ended up being an editor on this and just helping with like shot sizes and all of that, but I didn't film it, I wasn't acting in it, I wasn't there actively on set. Like, I just received all the clips and then edited it together. So it wasn't my story, it wasn't my shots, it wasn't anything like that, so I'm not gonna share it with you. All I did was literally cut it together. Like, I didn't have to do much work for it. I also took Intro to Audio Production this semester, and of all the courses that I could have taken online, I should have waited and taken this one in person. This course was basically studying different microphones, talking about how audio is used in film, how they record it, how they transfer it, all the different microphone terms. And that part of it was fine to learn virtually. Like, if you asked me the difference between microphone A and microphone B, I could tell you the difference and I can tell you why they're different. But if you actually gave me these microphones and told me to use them, I would just be faking it till I made it. No, it's not that complicated to use microphones, but it is a very vital part of film. Like, if the audio's bad, literally nothing else matters. You can have the most beautiful shot, but if the audio is muffly or echoed, like, the whole thing's trash, basically. I had to sit through that course and just watch my professor be on screen showing the different microphones and showing us, but I never actually got to get my hands on a microphone and actually use it. So that's why I wish I had taken this course in person, just so I could have gotten that hands-on experience, but I actually don't even know if they're offering it in person yet, so I guess it's better to have just taken it when I did. For the final, we had to complete a short film that surrounded around our quarantine experience, and again, because this was an audio course, the visuals weren't that important. It was really just how you incorporated the music and how you recorded it and how you added in all the little effects. I actually ended up finessing this project by just taking clips from all my YouTube videos and then doing a voiceover. Here's the project that I ended up producing for this class. That concluded all the film classes that I took for sophomore year. Now, of course, I was still working towards a degree, so I also had a minor at the time, which was graphic design. So I was also taking graphic design courses during that, as well as just like my regular gen eds like sociology, psychology, intro to ethics, things like that. After that, I actually did change my minor to English, so the graphic design courses weren't void. They still counted as fine arts, but they weren't pertaining to my minor anymore, so I had to restart that at the beginning of junior year. So while Howard University was back on campus, all of my film classes were still virtual. It ended up working out perfectly because I ended up taking classes that I didn't need to be producing things physically. Like everything I did was very virtual anyway, so it didn't make that big of a difference. But I still would have loved to be sitting in a classroom, of course. I took intro to editing and I absolutely love editing. Editing is probably my favorite part of even doing YouTube. One of the only reasons why I even still do it, because I love the editing process. I love being creative. I love having so much footage to kind of play around with. While I love YouTube editing, I do not love film editing, and this course showed me that. Pretty much this course just consisted of learning how to use Adobe Premiere, which I literally hate. So we would share our screens and we would just show our professor that we had, you know, all the right timelines down and we knew the lingo and we had a hard drive that had the different folders and all of that. It was basically just like a formatting class. And we did have projects for it. My professor would just send us footage and we would have to cut it up and again, share our screens. Premiere is the industry standard, so I'm very thankful that I do know how to use it, but I still don't love using it. And if for some reason I ever become an editor in the film industry, which I probably won't because I hate using Premiere, but let's just say I do, I will literally fight tooth and nail to be able to use Final Cut Pro because like Premiere, I don't get it. Like, why Premiere? It is so complicated for no reason. I really learned the value of continuity editing in this class. We also did a lot of like little one-off projects where we learned like the Kuleshov effect and experimental editing and just different editing techniques, but overall it's not something that I have much work to show from because like I said, I didn't actually record anything. I was just cutting it together, and if you want to see my editing skills, you could just watch a YouTube video and you would see I do know how to edit, but I actually have to say I'm more so self-taught than I am school taught. I feel like the only thing I learned from this course was how to work Premiere, which of course, valuable lesson to know, but the little nitty gritty things of editing I feel like are really things that happen on your own time when you have the chance to sit on your laptop, trial and error, see what works, see what doesn't. That's when I feel like you really get the learning done when it comes to editing. I also took intro to script writing, and this was by far the best film class that I've ever taken at Howard University. Just like my media production 2 class, I had an amazing professor. Again, it was just evident that he loved his job and he loved doing what he did. He knew so much about it, but he was also so passionate about it. So like I wanted to listen and I wanted to hear what he had to say about it. He was also very animated and very just like, you're gonna pay attention to me. Yes, it was virtual, but every single class I was sitting there like very attentively like, yes, tell me more, tell me more. Like I absolutely loved this class. We of course learned the very basic parts of script writing. So how to format a script and how to make a slug line and a log line and the proper formatting of a story and this and that. You know, all the little specifics, like we learned all of that. I know all of that. But the main part of this class that I absolutely loved was writing a 30-page script. It felt super daunting when the semester first started, but by the end of it, we had workshopped these scripts so much and we had talked about it so often that I felt extremely comfortable and extremely confident in writing a 30-page script. So much so that I actually think I'm gonna make script writing my concentration. This is a conversation for another time. We'll talk about this when I come back to school next August, but I think I'm gonna be a script writing concentration. I think. Because I'm really loving it. I really do enjoy it. This class made me realize that I love script writing, and regardless if I'm in the film industry script writing or just doing it for fun, like this is gonna be something that's a part of my life probably for the rest of it. Like I love storytelling. I can't explain that enough or express it enough. Like I love it. I love being a writer. Hence why I changed my minor to English and why I take creative writing English classes, because it's all up my alley. I absolutely love it. So I did write this 30-page script. I got an A on it. I'm not gonna share it though because I do actually think I have something special there. I don't know if it'll be a self-produced thing or if maybe I'll sell it to someone or if I'll ever finish it into a whole feature film, but I am really proud of the work and I'm not trying to get it stolen, so I can't even tell you about it. I'm not even gonna tell you about the story. Just know it's really good. I really enjoy writing, and one day, maybe in the near future, maybe soon, maybe 10 years from now, maybe 5 years from now, you will probably see this script somewhere. So stay Stay tuned. But I can't share it with you because I don't want anyone to steal it. For this last semester, the one that I just completed, I ended up only taking one film class, and I'm really glad that I did this because this film class was a handful. I took cinematography, and this was the first film class that I took in person. Yes, I know that is extremely sad. My first in-person class was as a junior, but it's fine. I absolutely loved this class. Again, I had an amazing professor, and she made everything super hands-on. So yes, we would have lectures, but she would also just bring cameras to class, and we would sit there and I don't want to say play with them because obviously we weren't playing with the cameras, but you know, we would fiddle around with them and put them on the tripod and press all the buttons and see how everything worked, and it was just very hands-on. There wasn't a time when I ever left that class not feeling like I had learned something new. Just like the rest of the classes, we learned the basics, so all the exact names of things. I know how to use certain cameras. I've worked with like multiple different ones, different lightings, and how to use the gels and how to use this, and you know, if I want a shadow on the left, you gotta put the camera here and you gotta put the light there. Like, I learned all of those little things, but the biggest thing that I learned from this class is definitely experience. We ended up doing maybe like 4 or 5 super big group projects, which again, freaked me out. That was my ice machine. Again, I showed the production process of these in multiple little YouTube videos throughout this last year. And because we did so many projects, I'm not gonna show you every single one, but I will show you the final one that we did because I am so proud of it. I got really lucky and got to work with my 2 best friends on this film. Like, that is so unique and rare and amazing, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to work together again, so I thought this was really cool. Pretty much my class, cinematography, worked hand in hand with the directing class, which is the class Jada was in. Her and I got paired together, and then Delaney, who's a theater arts minor and is gonna be an amazing actress, she'll be on the big screen one day too, she was our actress. So the 3 of us got to work together, and it was such a great experience. Before I show you the short film, it would be absolute remiss of me to not mention this. So this was the first time that we actually got to check out equipment, at least for myself. So almost every other week, we were in the tech center checking out different equipment, different lighting, different gels, the dimmer and the stinger and the this and the that, and we just had an abundance of all different equipment, and I really appreciate this, and I have to say shout out to my professor for giving us this opportunity. So here's the final project that we ended up doing, and I'm really proud of it, so I hope you like it.
For as long as I can remember, my mom has kept me locked away in this shackled home. I never got to go outside, look outside, read about outside, absolutely nothing. She says the outside world is dangerous.
How many times do I have to tell you, do not look out the window? Mom, no. Go make some breakfast.
But what my mom doesn't know is that I actually have looked out the window and watched TV before, many times behind her back. I also try to read the news, but when she's not home, and it's rare for her not to be home. She is practically glued to my fucking ass. And I actually have been outside before, once. Okay, fine, twice. I only go at night though. I went last night and it was amazing. I saw the White House. Wait, what?
Give me that. Whoa. What the hell was that? Here we go yet again. Some sketchy shit happens, and you're keeping it from me. Give it back. First of all, watch your mouth. I told you countless times about the news, and whenever they spat in your ear, it's a lie. No, you're the lie. This whole facade you've been trying to maintain to make our family look some type of way is a lie. Look, I know Daniel passed away, and we're all sad, but you can't keep shunning me from the world all because you're afraid I'll end up. Mara, get upstairs. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. first real project that I did on my own where I got to check out studio lights and I got to make the shots and change the camera lens and mess with the aperture and the depth of field and like do all the actual manual things of like being a film major. This was the first time I actually got to do it. I'll be the first one to say this isn't the most beautiful, amazingly produced cinematography thing that I could have ever absolutely done, but considering that it was my first time, I think I did a pretty damn good job. So did Delaney, so did Jada. Like, I'm really proud of all of us. This is one of those things that I'm always gonna remember, and I'm always gonna save this video and have it on my little hard drive and show everyone in the whole entire world, like, yes, we did this, we made a project and we were successful, and I'm really proud of us for that. So that is everything that I've done thus far as a film major at Howard University. Again, I know my experience is very unique, and I know the Howard Film Program is very different than other universities. You might look at someone who goes to like Berkeley or NYU or, you know, just the schools that are like known for film. You might look at them and they've done completely different projects, or they might have had way more experience than I've had. So everything that I've said is very unique to Howard University and very unique to my specific experience, given that we were in COVID and virtual, and you already know the whole story. But I just want to again give the little disclaimer, like, someone else who's my age might have way more experience or way less. Like, it's variable. Film is something that I'm actually passionate about. I love watching a movie and deciphering the scene, and I know it's sometimes probably annoying to watch movies with me because I can't stop talking about the production of it or just trying to figure out the little ways that they shot it, and I'm just so immersed by the process, and I love it, and I love storytelling, and talking about this just, it really solidifies how much I love this. So I'm really thankful that I was able to study film, thankful that I have family that supports me through it. I know, you know, people say don't study arts. I know they say there's no money in it and all this, and it's kind of true. Like, film is a hard industry to break into, but if it's something that you're passionate about, freaking go for it. Like, the sky's the limit. No one is stopping you. There's so much possibility out there if you just grab it and take it, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So I'm really glad I was able to share my experience with you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to comment them down below. If it's something you maybe don't want everyone to know, or if it's a little long, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'll have my @ right here on the screen. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. so it's never too long before there's a new video for me. I love Howard University. I love studying film. I love my experience thus far, and I'm really excited to see what else I have in store for senior year. I'm of course going to be vlogging it all, but that is not until August. For now, I am done with the school content. I promise you I'm not talking about it anymore. Everything going forward is just going to be fun, traveling, having a good time, and just living my best life. So, woo, I finished. I'm so glad. Senior year, here we come. I've thoroughly enjoyed all of this, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye!